Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyards channel. My name is Charisma, and today we're meeting in the front yard and we're going to do a first of the month garden tour in September. I live on the Oregon coast in a zone 9A in a very temperate climate, and things are already starting to cool down. We have had, I feel like I have something on my eye. We've already started to have very cold temperatures, not very cold, but cool temperatures at night. So all of the annuals are looking tired and cold, and they want to be done for the season. I think we have a very overcast, foggy day today. It's probably around 55 or so, and in degrees Fahrenheit. I should clarify these things. Um, but I thought I would just walk around the garden and show you what's going on. Beautiful dahlias are still blooming. Ooh, my microphone is falling. All right, I think I fixed my mic. Anyway, a lot of dahlias blooming still really beautifully, and the annuals, other than that, are kind of declining. Plenty of perennials that need to be cut back, but I figured I'll just show what it looks like at the beginning of September, and as the month goes along, we'll share with you as we slowly say goodnight to the garden for this 2025 growing season. Let me turn the camera around and show you what's going on in the front yard today. Anyway, so here we are in the garden. The jasmine trellis that Spencer and I built this spring, where we divided a huge jasmine plant, looked like it was struggling for quite some time. And it's looking beautiful and it's flowering. Look at this. Isn't that so exciting? I'm very excited about it. We've got a couple of, pieces that need to be trimmed off, but mostly success. And other things are kind of falling asleep. The roses are looking good right here. Really sweet baby pink roses, just constantly putting off new flowers. We still have a table of things to plant, and I'm absolutely determined to get these all in the ground by the end of October at the very least, because I cannot winter things over on this table. It's just, I think I've already wintered 2 things on this table, and seriously, they need to find a home or I need to get rid of them. Backing up a little bit, the rose campium all over the garden is done. It's pretty much just looking like this. I let some of this go to seed so that I can continue to have beautiful flowers. So I'm done deadheading them. We will cut it all back here in the next couple of weeks. Same with the pearly everlasting. It's done flowering. It's starting to go to seed, and I could just cut all that back. The hostas are looking pretty tired all over the garden. Really great hosta season. They've never been this big before. Of course, they're a little smaller now that they're fading, but really exciting year with the hostas. They did really well. And in this first pot, we still have tons of color. These are dahlias that I grew from seed. These are the shooting star dahlia seeds from Florette Flower Farm. And they're just beautiful. They're just so fun. And then we have these zinnias. There's a mixture of zinnias in all these pots, and I don't know which ones are which, but we have the rainbow series. Unicorn series from also from Florette Farm. Maybe these, I'm not sure. And then we also have California giants, and we have Benary giants, and those don't look like giants to me. So anyway, lots of fun color, just bright fun. Look at the cones on these. Aren't those amazing? It's so fun. And we've got Boom Chocolata. This is its 3rd flush. I'm really impressed with this perennial. Really exciting to have this in the garden this year. I'm loving it. All right, let's see what else is blooming. Our Italian ice roses are all blooming. Um, you know, in and out. This one's done, but these have such cool contrasting colors. These are the same, so they come out kind of yellow, and they open up to this pink, peachy color. So we have three of those, and then we have white bay. All right, so then our rose is putting on new buds, but it's this big, beautiful, the most fragrant rose we have in the garden. It's just, and it's doing so beautifully this year. This is the Mr. Lincoln. And in this container, I have another dahlia that I grew from seed. This is one of my favorites. Oh, look at that contrasting white and magenta. It's just so frilly and it's just super fun. And then we also have a Aphrodite sweet shrub in here, and it's doing fantastic. It was in this little tiny, tiny container when I planted it, so it has grown a lot. We also have a couple of zinnias still coming through, a coleus, and then the Bermuda Beach petunias are looking pretty sad, and then the variegated vinca is looking really nice. Oops, and my microphone just fell off, and I can't tell if it. I think I'll just hold it. Okay, and then we have our climbing roses, which they've been taking turns, which is kind of annoying. They're not blooming at the same time. So you can see this one has all of its buds, and then this one over here is like finishing up, and like there's a bunch up there that need to be deadheaded. So yeah. Oh well, that's okay. Um Panning over to this side of the garden, everything's just kind of slowly declining. We do have some kaffir lilies that are starting to bloom in there, that like corally orange color. Um, they're pretty sporadic, but they're doing their thing. All the lilies and the daylilies are all pretty much ready to be cut back. I could probably cut them back pretty soon. They're turning yellow. Sometimes I wait till they turn all the way brown. It just depends on what day I come through and clean up all the perennials. You could see um, the other lily or the daylilies, and they're all like splayed out and tired. Um, okay. The Iberis has gone to sleep. The Veronica has flushed up a couple of different times. We planted these maybe like a month and a half ago, and they were like declining, and I thought they would be done for the season. But the pink ones all like flushed back out. The purple ones, not as much, but that's fine. We've got Supertunia bubblegums looking fantastic still. Not quite as much coverage as they have had, but still really fun splash of pink going on there. And that is kind of the big color show on that side of the garden. Walking back here, we've got this container, and I've got the trailing fuchsia, which like now that it's autumn, I'm enjoying it, but it's always this color, which I'm not thrilled about. I don't know. I don't want this color in like June. But all of its flowers are really taking off right now. Isn't that so fun? Um, I don't know if this is the most appropriate place because the flowers are way down here on the ground. You can't really enjoy them. I feel like this plant needs to be like up, like up on a pedestal so we can really enjoy that draping habit. Inside this container, we have a couple more dahlias that I grew from seed. So we have this one, which is just this beautiful dark velvety magenta color and this bright yellow pollen center. I love the simplicity and the depth of this particular dahlia. It has this dark stem too, which is lovely. And then we also have this one, which has been really interesting. It comes out kind of green. I don't know if I'll these have all been open for a couple of days, but like the inside petals will be a little bit green as they start opening, and then they turn more yellow. And then the back side has this really beautiful, like painterly splash of pink. It's really fun. And they're super tall. Like these aren't even the tallest ones. I recently cut off some, like deadheaded some that were at least a foot above the tallest ones here, which are just kind of wild. I mean, I know that they're in these containers, but still very, very tall. And then on the back side, we have some more zinnias, and they're just super fun with this like cupcake look, which I just love them. And then we have the saffron finch petunia. And in the middle, the perennial that we have in here is a white flowering quince, which will not stay in here forever, but I didn't know what to do with it and I wanted one, so she got to live in here this year. And the back side, well, let's look at this from the front side. So from the front of the garden, things are still looking pretty colorful, starting with the jazzberry petunias there, and then we have some orange or yellow crocosmia right here. We've got the black-eyed Susans. This arbor is looking really great. This is the first season we've been training this lemon cypress up like this, and I'm loving it still. And then if we continue into here, we've got these little short sunflowers that are, they're actually, there's like more coming on. They're just kind of in between flushes right now. These dahlias are all grown from tuber and they have not bloomed yet, which I think is really interesting that all the dahlias from seed are blooming like crazy, have been for months, it feels like. And these ones are just barely starting to head up. And they just got planted this year, so it's not like they're, old and tired. So interesting. Definitely the pink star petunias are tired. And then underneath that, I have some of the Tom Thumb tomatoes because I just wanted to see if I could get tomatoes to ripen out here. They're not as far along as the tomatoes in the backyard, and certainly not as far along as the tomatoes in the greenhouse, which are just about done doing their thing. In the back of this bed, we do have a couple of dahlias that have come up. I believe this is the Ivanetti. I need to double check, but I believe it is Ivanetti. And I love this form of a dahlia. These ball type dahlias are my favorite. And then these dahlias, look at this thing. It's so huge and amazing and beautiful. It's like this lion head gorgeousness. They are like, they've been blooming for a little while. Just absolutely beautiful. And then there's another one, similar style right here. One of them is Jenna and one of them is I'm a Hottie, and I need to look up and find out which one is which. But you can see this one has more white in it with like a pink stripe, whereas this one's a little bit more solid. And then we have another dark ball over here, and I think these might be the same. I'm pretty sure that they are just more divisions of the same tuber. This is the I think this is this is Plum Vein Mini Vista, which I was really impressed with this year. It looks really good. It's getting tired now, but it did really well. And then we have a couple of rows of Sharons, a purple one and a white one. I love this white one. It's so pretty. And the bees like it too. It's kind of like the only thing I'm seeing bees on. There's two different kinds of bees. Wasp, that looks like a wasp. I don't know. Yeah, so that one's pretty happy. This one has always kind of struggled, but is, at least it's blooming this year. Heading back down this way, our Shasta daisies are done. Need to cut them back. This is a bluebeard that's just starting to kind of push the new flowers. Dandelion, that. And then all of our goat spirit, it's time to cut these all back. I can definitely use these in a flower arrangement for some interest, but they are very tired and ready to be cut back. I've got a couple of dead branches. This is a flowering quince, a double red flowering quince. I've got a couple of dead branches. It's happened a couple of times this year. I'm not really sure why. I think that's really interesting. Like these center ones have died, but everything else looks really beautiful. So odd. We planted this tater tot arborvitae just a few months ago. It's doing really well, so I'm glad that it likes it there. Across the way, nothing has really changed in this bed. The sumac hasn't quite started to turn color yet, but the cones have colored up and started growing, which I think they're just so beautiful. I know that this tree is a little bit invasive, and we are definitely feeling the effects of it. But for right now, I'm not willing to kill it off just yet. I'm not ready. And we're about to have the most beautiful show of fall color. So I'm dealing with it. We do have this winter hazel, which does also get really great fall color, and it's starting to do its thing as well. And then, like I said, we've got the jazzberry super tunia. We also have, not sure which one that is, persimmon maybe. I don't know. Um, it didn't go as crazy as this one. This one is in a tiny pot all by itself, and it just was so much happier all by itself. We've got the yellow crocosmia, which stays really short and it blooms way later than all the other ones. And then in this pot, in addition to the petunias, we have a vermillionaire, which we have another one in the ground in the backyard, and they're about the same. This one's a little bit more congested because we've got a dahlia and some zinnias and a petunia with it. But the hummingbirds love this plant, which is super fun to watch them hanging out. And we have a volunteer sumac there that needs to get pulled. And we have a whole bunch of bindweed that we deal with in this area that needs to be pulled. Fun! Okay. We still have a little bit of cranesbill geranium that's kind of popping up here and there, still blooming. A little patch of it right there. You can see all the rose campium is done blooming there. And you can see our hydrangea that we just recently transplanted is doing pretty good. There's a couple of like branches that are looking a little iffy, but I feel like if I just keep it watered and keep a good eye on it, I might have to cut off those like one or two branches next year if they come back kind of limp. Or maybe dead or broken, or I don't know. But for the most part, it looks pretty darn good. Up here, I think we'll just kind of skim over the top of the medicine garden. You could still see a lot of color in the medicine garden with echinacea and zinnias and calendula and snapdragons. It's still looking very abundant, and we'll do a separate tour of the medicine garden later this month. But at the top here, we have liatris, just finishing blooming. Lots of different types of snapdragons, white, pink, and magenta, and yellow, and sunset colors. And our phlox is just about done. And I just love this phlox. It's so pretty. And we have one last pumpkin red hot poker there. This is a fall blooming Nephofia, and there was a whole bunch. We just cut them back, and then this one popped up. It's kind of fun. You can see we are building a new platform right there, but it's kind of just in the process of being built. We're still working on that. So we've talked about this a couple of times on this channel, but for anybody new here, my husband has Parkinson's, and he is a warrior. He's constantly fighting against the decline that this disease challenges him with, and sometimes the symptoms change, and this is normal for Parkinson's patients. They cycle through all these different changes, and every time something changes with the physical symptoms, um, we have to adjust. So recently, so he's also had bilateral DBS, deep brain stimulation, and that controls his tremor, but it only controls his tremor, not any other aspect of Parkinson's, which there's a lot of other symptoms that are associated with Parkinson's. And recently, his tremor has returned, and he was just having a difficult week last week. So when we started this project for the platform that we're building, he built all of these terraced beds. So it seemed like a no-brainer that he was just going to build like a short terrace bed and put a top on it for me. But when symptoms change, it's also challenging mentally. So he had a hard time just wrapping his head around how to make this bed happen or this platform happen. And it was very frustrating. And his tremor was back, so he couldn't work as well. And then I took a girls' trip and left town for a couple of days, not because of that, but because it was planned. And so now that I'm back and he's doing much better this week and feeling stronger and mentally better, and his tremor is still there slightly. So we have a call into the doctor, and we're going to find out if he needs to make some adjustments or what needs to happen at this point. But we will get back to building this platform. I'm mentioning this to you all because I'm sure that you or some of you have challenges in your life, and you have to put projects on hold for a lot of different various reasons. And I'm just here to say that's okay. It's it's totally cool. You don't have to be in a rush to make your dreams come true. You can take it nice and slow and steady, and eventually it'll get done, right? Like the turtle wins the race. So don't burn out, don't push yourself, and don't force something that isn't naturally happening. And the doors of opportunity will open, and you'll have the energy and the motivation to do it. And if you don't, if for some reason you take a break and you walk away from something, you may realize that's not what you actually wanted in the first place. So Spencer built this up a little bit and left it as is for me to see if this is something that I really wanted, and I do, and I'm really excited about it. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll just slowly work on it and create a place for the lavender to live. This is the point of this platform, is to create a place in the sunniest, hottest possible place that I could have a collection of potted lavenders. Because we live in such a cool climate, it's a little bit harder for me to grow lavender successfully. And so we're just trying to create a way that I can grow lavender in my garden and have good success. Shasta daisies have been cut back. A whole bunch of snapdragons in these containers. This is one dahlia plant. All this white flowers are one plant, and these also came from seed from the shooting star seed packet. I just one packet and so many flowers, so amazing. And these are the zinnias we looked at from the other side. All right, let's just take a look at our porch railing baskets. Um, and that will conclude our tour. So, all of these baskets were planted mostly with different types of mini vista petunias, except for the hanging baskets have vivid orchid hoopla petunias, super petunias from proven winners. And we had a whole bunch of nasturtiums. We pulled out the nasturtiums because they were looking pretty sad. You can now see that the petunias are all looking pretty sad, and the snapdragons are done blooming. So these will probably be the first things that I strip out for the fall season. So you can see that they all just kind of look a little bit tired, a little on the tired side. This one's looking, more, a little bit more abundant in flower power up close. The impatiens still look pretty fantastic though. So I think that we can leave the impatiens and just maybe get some pansies and dress up these containers for fall. Same with this one. You can see zinnia is done blooming. The snapdragons are done blooming. This is just mini vista red, really red, something like that. And then this impatient looks good still, just a little bit of deadheading to do, but you can see it's still going to bloom more. And the snapdragons are done. This hanging basket again just is looking a little sad and tired. And then again, same kind of deal. This is the mini vista yellow, and then this impatient is looking good. So then on the porch containers, which is a new addition this year, we have our bay tree, which I need to trim up because I want them to be two little balls. And they've done their summer craziness, but we'll trim those up. The snapdragons are done flowering, and then we also have a tom thumb here. And even though this should get quite a bit of sun, it's only got a couple of tomatoes on it, and like the foliage looks better than any other tomato, but and there's flowers, but it just didn't bulk up like any of the other ones throughout the garden. I got a free packet of these Tom Thumb tomatoes from Baker Creek Seeds when I ordered seeds last year. They are so fantastic about sending free seeds when you order from them, but I wasn't intending on growing any tomatoes from seed, so it was kind of fun to experiment a whole packet of seeds and put them in different parts of the garden to see if I could get them to bloom and fruit in different spaces, just to prove my theory that I really can't grow tomatoes without a greenhouse. Came close to the ones in front of the raised beds and the front yard with the most sun that I could provide them in the garden. But the ones that are in the greenhouse are just like, I've already picked a ton off of them. There's a ton more coming, and they're almost done fruiting because they've been performing so well. I've made salsa. I can probably do another small batch of salsa here in the next week or so. So, yeah. Anyway, so it's just been kind of fun to experiment with something like that because there wasn't really a plan for it, and I got to see if I could get because they're so small, right? They would flower up and fruit faster than like a bigger tomato might, and even those, I just can't get. I just don't have enough heat here to make a happy tomato. All right. Last little pots to look at. We have snapdragons in these containers all done blooming. And then we have a California, what are these things? Lilac, California lilac in here, which originally was a variegated one, and the variegated pieces really, really struggled. And then when I let the species just kind of take over, they've done a lot better. So, uh, I was trying to save it. It's grown way more than I was expecting it to. It was one of those discount plants that I wasn't sure if it was going to live. So I think that maybe we get it in the ground somewhere and let it take off next spring. But again, the snapdragons are just pretty much done. Um, while snapdragons do grow in the shade, they just don't bloom as well. And when they do, they grow all super squirrely. So this again was another experiment. I grew hundreds of snapdragons this year for the purpose of growing them in the medicine garden. And then I just had a bunch of extras, so I tried growing them in various spaces, kind of like I did with the tomatoes. And some of them worked out, some of them didn't. All right, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what is blooming and what's happening on the Oregon coast in Zone 9A in the beginning of September. And as the month continues, we will be slowly saying goodnight to this garden, and we'll share all of that with you as we remove our annuals and cut down our perennials and just mulch everything. I like to get a nice layer of mulch on everything in the fall so that we can prevent some of the spring seeds, and everything looks just nice and tidy all winter long. So I find that after I cut back my perennials, it's a great time to put fresh mulch down. So as we do that, and we'll be planting bulbs here in the next month or so, but I think we'll be doing a lot more perennial cleanup and annual clean out here in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And so I hope that you are celebrating your life, that you're enjoying the last bit of your summer, and that you'll join me again in the next video that I post tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Until then, take care.